So to carry on from the first slide and really looking at that question of what led me to this article, the abstract. I started reading it. So first the title, then the abstract, and the fact that some of the questions I have on how I'm leading sort of those initial teachers who have just graduated forward in their understanding of diversity and multicultural education. And already the abstract was starting to answer some of those questions and even giving figures and facts about how much our population is growing in that particular area, and that very soon in the States, and I'm sorry that I don't know the Canadian figures, but very soon in the States, 39% of our children are going to be from ethnically diverse backgrounds. So that really challenges me. Part of my role as an EAL itinerant is to go around and support teachers, and most of the time this is pure joy, but unfortunately there are times that there is a bit of kickback, and I hear from teachers that they just don't want these children in their classroom, or they will talk about the behaviour problems that have come with these particular children, as they put it. And it's looking at, well, how can we educate not only our teachers who have just graduated, who actually are quite often more sympathetic than actually some of those teachers who have been in the field for a lot longer. And Prince Edward Island is a unique place. It's an island, or was an island in the sense that it was cut off from the mainland. There was no bridge for many, many years. And people haven't, or some teachers haven't been used to the rate of change that we've experienced in more recent days. So Mary Ellen and Sung Young, they give two quotes that I just want to put in here as well at this time. And the first one is, diversity and multicultural education is fast becoming the norm. So for these teachers who haven't really gotten onto the train, as I want to call it yet, they've got to get on. Whether they want to, whether we drag them screaming, whatever happens, they've got to get on, because in their classroom, those children are already there. And it's not good enough for them to now view these children as the EAL itinerant teacher's problem, or just kind of set them at the back of the classroom and hope that they'll learn the language somehow through that immersion experience. They've got to be teaching them. They've got to get to know the students within their classroom. The second quote is, a major goal of multicultural education is to reform the school and other educational institutes so that students from diverse racial, ethnic, and social class groups will experience educational equality. So again, this challenges me. How are we going to ensure that all children receive the same education? I recently was challenged by Dr. Samuel Ortiz, who is a Puerto Rican who was educated in the States, and he kind of just reminded us as EAL teachers that the students coming into our classroom, into kindergarten, the EAL students coming into kindergarten are already 5 years behind their peers. If you looked at the amount of words that our local peers have already been exposed to, and he reminds us that to bridge that gap, they would actually need to be in school for a 36-hour day. So in a way, this is kind of doom and gloom news. He's showing us that it's impossible, but at the same time, we've got to be aware of some of the barriers to learning, and we need to also contribute to the change that we want to see. And it means that we need to make our classrooms so rich in language that these children have the chance to catch up, and not just see them as somebody else's role, or that they'll just gather the language as they sit there.